And there's this new phenomenon, right? Why? Why is it new? It's new because we have so much stimulus money coming into the economy and so many young people who's doing what with the stimulus money? They're putting it all into stocks, right? Everybody saw the news and saw those things, right? So they're trying to make money, right? Not actively, but passively through investing. Okay. So what other avenues are there? There's YouTube, right? YouTube, you can do that. Instagram, you can do that. So what do I mean? There are people who make millions and millions of dollars a year doing YouTube. Yes? Everybody agree? Okay. Does it cost money to do YouTube? No, it's free. It does not cost you any money to do YouTube, right? All right, Instagram. People make millions of dollars on Instagram. Do you think that it takes money to start an Instagram account? No. Oh, let me just plug this in right here. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Coach Ju, okay? So as you do these things, you begin to understand that without money, you can still make money nowadays, right? That was not the case. But then there's still a catch. What's the catch? Okay. In every single business model, you have to have one, you have to have money, right? Two, you have to have product or content, right? Okay. And three, you have to have the ability to manage. If you cannot do these things, you have no business. Okay. So YouTube is free. So it breaks number one. It breaks the rule of number one. Okay. It's free. But then what happens? Content, right? If you cannot create good content, you cannot gain followers. So therefore, your lack of ability, right, to make good content, it hinders what? Your income source. Okay. So even though it's free, you don't have the ability to make the content. So therefore, you cannot make the income, right? That's the same thing for Instagram. Okay. So all these business models, it's the same concept. So therefore, it does not work. Okay. So what's the next thing that you have to think about? So even if you did do these things, let's say that you were a YouTube star, okay, and then you were able to make the content and you got number 1 and 2 taken care of. Now you have to have good management, right? There are so many YouTubers, especially in Korea, who are very, very famous. There's a few that my wife was following who had maybe 2 million followers. They were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their YouTube channel got shut down in one day. Literally in one day, right? So what happened? So one of the YouTubers, there was an issue. They came to Korea and they were on Corona, COVID lockdown, but then they made a video of them not being quarantined. And what happened? As soon as they uploaded that video, net citizens, right? So internet citizens, they bombarded the page and they had to shut it down. So 2 million follower YouTube channel gone in one day. Why? Poor management. Can you imagine 2 million? It took them probably years to make the channel and in one day shut down. Instagram, same thing, right? All these things, it's because poor management. So without all three of these key items, you do not have a long-term sustainable business model. And it is extremely difficult to do these things, okay? So if you as an individual alone by yourself are able to do these things, that's amazing, right? But in most cases, one individual will not have the ability to do all these things. And Atomy is a key to being able to figure out and answer number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so those are the things that we need to discuss today. Atomy, is it free? Yes, free. Number 2, do they create content and products? Yes. Content's created for free. You can get all the materials online. You can go to channelatomy.com. You can attend Zoom meetings like we are right now. And at the same time, products. Everything is what? Absolute quality, absolute price, meaning that it is competitive, okay? Meaning that you will be able to use these products without feeling like you are losing money, but you will be able to feel like you have gained value from using these products. Okay. So what happens when a person feels like they are gaining value? They continue to use it and they become repetitive customers, right? You retain your consumers. Okay. And then what happens to number three? Number three is management. Do you manage individuals? No, you do not. The company helps to manage everyone. Okay. The only thing that you have to learn how to do is what? Be a good person. That's it. Be a decent human being and you don't have any issues, right? If you are not a decent human being, then you will not succeed in Atomy nor anything in life. So sorry, but you have to at least be a good human being, meaning respect people, be nice to people, respect their culture, their way of thought, whatever it is. All you have to do is create consumers. Okay, so this is why Atomy works. So let me talk about the future distribution model of Atomy and the way that we are headed. Okay, where are we going? Why is Atomy still something that we should do now in 2021? Even though Atomy started 10 years ago, is it too late to do Atomy? Am I too late to the game? Okay, no, not at all. So why is that the case? So let's do the simple math. Okay, so today I'm going to talk very, very simply about the compensation plan. Okay, so the comp plan is very simple. Okay, you have a personal PV and then you have a group PV. I'm not going to go through all the details. If you want to know the details, I'm sure your sponsor can tell you, or you can search online. You can do Atomy compensation plan and you can watch whatever video you see. I have one of the videos up too. So you have my PV, okay? And then I call that PPV. So I'm going to refer to that as PPV. And then you have group PV, which is downline PV, which I'm going to refer to as GPV, okay? So PPV is your personal PV and GPV is your group PV, okay? So everybody in this room, okay? Raise your hand if you brush your teeth today. Raise your hand. Oh my goodness, we got people not raising their hands. Just because you're home alone, you still need to brush your teeth, okay? So everybody, you brush your teeth, I hope, right? So in order for you to have brushed your teeth, what items do you need? You need a toothbrush and you need a toothpaste, okay? So everybody in this room, I see that you are, you've lived a few years. So I'm guessing that you've bought lots of toothbrush and toothpaste, right? You've bought lots of toothbrush and toothpaste. Every time you go to Walmart or every time you go to, Walgreens, wherever you go and shop, did they ever pay you, right, for all their purchases? Did they say, oh my goodness, you bought so many toothbrush, toothpaste during your lifetime, here's some points back? No, they did not, okay? So it was a very, very simple business model. What do I mean? You give them money, they give you product, and then business is done. All right. But it's not like that anymore. Okay. Why do YouTubers make so much money? Do you know why? They have affiliated links. So what are affiliated links? Every time you want to buy something from their channel, it's linked from their channel to Amazon or linked from their channel to whatever other distributor. And then they make a percentage off of everything that you buy, right? But for the consumer, whoever clicks on the link, you don't lose any money, right? Whether you buy from that link or you buy from the website, it's usually the same price anyways, right? But the company is paying that YouTuber or that Instagrammer or that influencer a percentage of the product being sold as a commission for marketing the items for them. That's already happening. That's been happening for years. Okay? So why is Atomy different? Now, I want you to listen to this next part. This is where you have to understand the power of Atomy. Okay? You do not have many followers, right? It's very difficult to make lots of followers. Yes or no? Yeah. And usually the affiliated links are targeted to their viewer group, right? So if you have a cooking channel, you're not going to be selling toothbrush and toothpaste and shampoo on your cooking channel, right? You're going to be selling, cooking utensils, whatever it may be, okay? But not everybody's going to be able to want to buy those. But the point is this: followship is hard to create, okay? Very hard. Followship can usually only be created by those who are doing what? Who are good content creators. Okay. So how does Atomy's compensation plan override this? Okay. In Atomy, okay, it's not just dependent on you. In YouTube, okay, YouTube, you are the one who's registering all these people, right? These are all your followers, okay? Is a million lines all connected to you. So it is 100% your ability, right? 100% your ability. So if you lack the ability, you'll never succeed, right? Does that sound harsh? No, it's reality, okay? For example, we always hear, you can do anything you put your mind to, right? That's only half true, right? That's not very true. For example, my son, when he's younger, he told me he wants to be a dinosaur. Can he become a dinosaur? Just because he wants to be a dinosaur and he practices his roar, can he become a dinosaur? No. Okay. Let's say that my son, he wants to become an NBA player, but he's only 5 foot tall. Yeah, maybe it's true. But the likelihood of him getting drafted to the NBA, how real is that? Not very. Okay. So there is no 100%, right? Because there are miracles, but 99.9% means no. Okay. So just imagine. Okay. So in this situation, why I'm explaining you this is in YouTube, you are responsible for creating all these members. Okay. And then you can use your affiliated link to make money. Okay. But in Atomy, we have a whole new different concept. So everybody in this room, you brush your teeth. So that means that everybody that you know probably also brushes their teeth. So that means that they probably use everyday necessities, right? They shampoo, they shower, they brush their teeth, they moisturize their skin. These are everyday necessities, okay? So if you do that, then your friends are going to do that, okay? So Atomy allows for the same system of affiliated marketing, but what it is you are registering people like this in a binary structure. All it is the ability to identify who your consumers are. That's the lineage. That's all that is. The lineage looks like a pyramid, right? But it has nothing to do with that. For example, if you have lots of members, this looks like a pyramid too. So don't worry about the shape. Think about the reasoning behind why the structure is the way that it is, okay? So in Atomy, what happens is you only have the ability, let's say, to register this blue circle, okay? And then you only register this blue circle. You only register 2 people, okay? For example. And then let's say that those individuals also registered 2 more and 2 more people, okay? So what just happened? Your ability was this much, okay? This red square. But now, because Atomy allowed, you have all of this, even the blue square. So you have everything now, okay? So other people's abilities become your abilities, meaning now you have unlimited leverage enabled in your system. So therefore, everybody and everybody's everybody who continues to share the idea and the product will continue to grow your business with you. This is very, very important. Okay. And this is something that can happen only in Atomy. Only in Atomy. Literally, only in Atomy. Okay. There's no other network marketing company in the world that can duplicate this. Okay. So people say, oh, but my company gives 75%, but my company gives this percent. My company gives unlimited downline leverage as well. My company does this as well. Okay, so let me break that down for you so you understand clearly what I mean. Okay, if a company gives you unlimited downline leverage, that doesn't matter if there's a registration fee. Because even though they give you unlimited downline leverage, you will never be able to register people infinitely, because you will always run into the issue of people not wanting to register because they have to pay money. Yes or no? Yes. Also, if there is a business fee, so let's say registration is free, but the cost of doing the business is not free. Let's say that you have a monthly purchase requirement, okay? You have a maintenance requirement. Then what happens? Then those individuals who do not desire to maintain their account will then therefore never register more people. So your synergy also stops, right? So it doesn't work again. Next, all those things aside, product, which is the most important, okay? Let's say that your company only sells a limited number of products that are not everyday necessities, or if they are everyday necessities, they are more expensive and not as good. What happens? Again, your network will not grow. You will not be able to attract individuals to build the network with you. It's impossible. All those requirements must align for you to actually be able to benefit from what we call unlimited downline leverage. Okay? A lot of people just use that term without understanding the concept of what unlimited downline leverage actually means. So in other companies, they say we have unlimited downline leverage. It doesn't work like that. Okay? Just because you say you have it doesn't mean you actually have it, right? It has to be able to, all the dots have to connect. Okay. So in Atomy, you have the ability to leverage off of other individuals. So therefore, you have the ability to what? To expand your network just like an influencer will. So what did Atomy do? They bridged the gap of individual ability, and they expanded it so that everybody's ability becomes your ability. So it's impossible not to succeed in Atomy. Like literally, it's impossible. Your growth speed can be different, right? But it's literally impossible to lose money in Atomy if you do it correctly. Like theoretically, it's not possible to lose money. Okay? And I'm going to explain to you how you need to do it now. Now you understand the concept of the compensation plan, right? Products are good, so therefore people will continue to use it. There's no fee to become a member. There's no fee to do the business. So therefore, continuous growth will happen. Okay? These are the keys. Now, the next concept, you have to understand it to be able to grow your business. Okay? Consistency is something that so many people lack. Okay? Discipline is something that so many people lack. Agreed? Even I lack it, right? Everybody lacks consistency and discipline. It's something that we have to do daily. Daily, we have to consistently think about each day as a new day and continue to grow each day to be able to do those things, okay? So let me check this out. I mean, let me explain to you this. As you are doing your business, you're going to run into many issues. Okay? It's not going to be all flowers and pretty ponies. Okay? You're going to run into many issues. Okay? For example, You're doing Atomy because you love it, or else you wouldn't be doing Atomy. So in your mind, everybody will love Atomy just like you. So you go to your friend and you're like, wow, you're not going to believe what I just ran into. There's this amazing company called Atomy, and their products are just awesome. And you start explaining that, oh my gosh, MLM, right? Or they're like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. Oh, I have to do this. And then they say, never call you again. They said, never come over again. Never call me again. I never want to see your face again if this is what you want to share with me, right? And you get hurt, right? Right? That's the first time. And then now you go home in tears, you're right? And you want to go cry to mommy, okay? But maybe mommy is the one who told you no. So the whole situation, you're going to have to what? You're going to have to understand Atomy if you want to persevere in Atomy, okay? If you don't understand what you're doing, of course you're going to quit. If you don't understand the value of what you're doing, of course you're not going to be able to consistently give value back, okay? So let me give you an example about consistency. So I had a partner called me. She said, Coach, please have a meeting. I need you to have a one-on-one with one of my girlfriends, okay? She's going to be an amazing business partner. She already uses the toothbrush and some of the skincare. Please talk to her about the business, okay? So she invited me. We had coffee, and I was explaining the business to her, okay? So as I'm explaining the business to her, she's looking at me like this, right? She has her arms crossed and she's looking at me and she's, And I felt like I did an amazing job at explaining everything, right? If I had to give myself, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give myself a 10. I did the perfect presentation, okay? So she left, and then I called my partner. I asked her what happened, and she said, I'm sorry, Coach, but she just wasn't feeling it, right? She was just not happy, okay? But in my mind, I did a good job, right? There's nothing I could have done better. And she was also like, yeah, you did an amazing job. And then she called me back. She talked to her friend, and she said, so I said, so what was the issue? And she says, before coming to the meeting, she had a fight with her boyfriend and he looks just like you. So she didn't like the way you looked. So she didn't hear anything. And I said, oh, is that right? I said, good. So there's nothing wrong with my presentation. So I said, all right, make another meeting. Okay. So we set up another meeting. This time, I did the exact same meeting, okay? No difference in the meeting, same meeting, right? Same words, and I also felt like I did a great job, and I talked to her again, but this time, she wasn't like this. She was, yes, And then I called my partner after the meeting, and she said, this time, she loved it. And I said, why? What happened? She said, today, her boyfriend bought her flowers. So, what am I saying? Okay, what am I saying? Even though you give the best presentation and the perfect presentation, the person who's listening has different circumstances and situations. But if you're consistently sharing with that person, then one day it will click that, product, good. Business, free. Income, possible. Very simple, right? And until that day comes, it is our job and our responsibility to stay consistent, right? That is what I'm talking about with consistency, okay? Do not allow your circumstance and situation to determine the outcome because you're emotionally having up and downs. Don't allow your emotions to control you, right? I always say emotions were given to us by God for us to have control of, not for emotions to control us, right? So it's good to be able to have control of your emotions. So even when you're upset, we have to be able to understand from their perspective. Okay. So let's say you went to your friend, like I said, and then they said, never call me again, right? Never call me again and talk to me. But if you think about their perspective, maybe they had a really bad experience in the past. So that's why they're upset at you. And they have every right and reason to be upset at you, right? Don't think about it from your perspective. Think about it from their perspective. So you shouldn't be hurt by that, but rather you should be able to what? Relate, have compassion, and then talk to them again. Consistency, understanding. And those are the keys that I am talking to you about. So as we have consistency, we are going to be able to start growing each day. And each day, all we need is what? We have 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks. Okay? So that's, let's say, one person a week. One person a week will equal 50,000 PV. Okay? 50,000 PV for one person. Is that possible? 100% possible. So your goal is to create one person a week who will be able to consume 50,000, or you're going to be creating many consumers a week, right? Maybe you create 5 consumers a week, and each consumer creates 10,000 PV. Okay? Whatever it is, usually one consumer and their household will be able to consume an average of 50,000 PV a month. Okay? So let's do the math. 50,000 PV. Okay? You multiply that by 50. Okay? How many PV is that? Isn't this the magic number that we like? What's this magic number? 2.5 million PV. Why is 2.5 million a magic number in Atomy? Because that is the accumulated GPV needed from the 1st to the 15th and the 16th to the end of the month to create a sales master. Okay? So now let's think about this. 52 weeks, that's 1 year. 1 year. Okay? So let's say that you are here, and that's 25 people, let's say, in 1 year. Okay? So everybody take your calculators out. So in 1 year, let's say that you created these individuals. So these individuals will also then do what? They will be able to be duplicated, right? Duplicated to do what? To do exactly what you just did. To be able to create one person a week. And usually I give it 3 months. 3 months of training, 3 months of understanding. They'll be able to start registering, and they'll be able to start selling products to their people, no problem. People do it within 1 week, right? Because there's nothing complicated about adding. But three months should be plenty of time, okay? So in 3 months, what happens then? How many people do you have in 3 months doing the same thing? Okay. Let's just say that we have 5 out of the 25 doing that. Okay. Not even all the 25. Okay. So if you multiply 5, right, by 52, so let's just say 50, you have another what? You have another 250 people. So in 15, So 3 months, right? So 12 months plus 3 months, 15 months. So in 15 months time, you should be able to have individuals in your downline who can consume 50,000 PV. And you have how many people doing that? You have 1,000. I mean, you have 12,500,000 PV a month. So if you divide that by 2, that's about 6.25 million PV every 15 days. That's what we call an auto sales master, right? You should be able to make $3,000 a month with this income in 15 months. Okay? But let me tell you why you fail at this. Many people fail at this because they lack what? They don't follow up. You guys don't follow up. That's the issue. You register one person, move on to the next. Register the next person, move on to the next. Register another person, move on to the next. You are continuing to build, but you lack follow-up, so you have no retention. So if you want to learn a new language and you memorize new vocabulary every day, but then you forget the vocabulary that you learned yesterday, will your language skill ever increase? So for that one day, you feel like you increased your vocabulary skills because you memorized 10 new words, right? And then next day, what happens? You memorize 10 more, but then you forget probably more than 80% of what you memorized yesterday. So what happens? You learn nothing. And then day 3, you forget everything from day 1. And then day 4, you start forgetting 80% of day 2. And so every day you have only a 3-day retention span, and every day you cannot go past 3 days worth of work. Your skill never increases. Doesn't work. That's what you're doing with your consumers. Every 12 months, your downline is turning red. Why? They're terminating because they're not buying. Why? Because you're not following up. This is the biggest issue that I see many people facing because they lack the ability to follow up. And it's not that they lack of ability. Everybody understands how to follow up. Right? It's discipline and it's greed. Okay? What do I mean by greedy? You want fast. You want new people, more people. Oh, this person's too slow. Oh, this person only buys toothpaste. Oh, maybe it's this person. This person bought hemoim. Okay, it's this person. This person's my PV cash cow, right? And then you work on that person. And then another person. You see what I mean? You're always chasing, okay? You're always chasing after these things. Now, it's not about chasing after those things, right? It's about following your rule of being consistent and committing daily goals. As you do those things, you'll be able to gain a better outcome in the future. Okay? So one person a week does not mean only meet one person a week. Maybe you have to meet 10 people, 5 people, 100 people, whatever it is. Your goal needs to be able to create one auto consumer a week. That's not hard. How is that hard? That's not hard. Teaching somebody how to register and shop online and do those things, that only takes 3 hours. 1 hour, 3 times, they're already done. Very easy. Okay? So That's the thing that you have to understand, and that's the thing that you have to be mindful of. And then what do? You have to be able to work with those 5 people, right? You have to be able to work with those 5 people, meaning you cannot do it by yourself, and you have to be able to work as a team to grow the business. Okay. So after you get these things set up, it's fairly straightforward from there. Okay. Every day it's repetitive, but it's new because the people you meet are new, situations are new, but every day it's the same. Okay. For example, if you're a teacher, okay, I had a professor in university. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but he was still using overhead projectors with clear notes, overhead projectors. And those notes were about 15 years old. So he taught the same thing for 15 years, but there's no issues because there's nothing new to teach in his class. So every day, just students changed, but the material never changed. Okay. Atomy, one aspect of Atomy is like that. So people complain, they say, Coach, every time we do the Zoom meeting, you say the same thing. Let me say it again. They say, Coach, every time you do the Zoom meeting, you say the same thing. Say, well, what do you want me to say? You wouldn't be saying that if you kept bringing new members. You keep coming by yourself, so it's the same thing for you. But people who are bringing new members, it's new to them. So hurry up and bring some members. This meeting is not for you. Right? That meeting's for new members, not you. So stop complaining that the meeting's the same. You have to always start at 1, right? The new person coming in has to understand the basics of Atomy, right? So today's lecture is a little bit different, right? It's not the same lecture, right? This is more of a build up for everybody, because I see a lot of members who are Diamond Masters and Sharon Rose and so on in here, So remember that it needs to be the same. If it's not the same, there's an issue again. Why? It's very difficult to duplicate then. So let's say that you want to duplicate all my lectures. Whenever I do lectures, I switch it up a lot. How do you teach somebody to switch up all their lectures then? It is very stressful. You cannot teach people to do that. That is something that they absorb and make their own out of many, many, many sharing sessions. You don't teach them that. That's something that evolves. What you teach is absolute quality, absolute price, unlimited downline leverage. Anybody can get. You teach them the very basics of what can be done. And then that is what is duplicated, okay? So more education is not good. Less education is good. Why? Why? Because your group is only as strong as the weakest link in the group. Okay? So we have to be able to cater to everybody who will be able to grow the business together. Does that make sense? Yes? So in this business, all we have to do is be mindful of 2 things. Number 1, make sure to share with everybody Atomy. Okay? Product. What do you say? Amazing quality, amazing price. You should give it a try. It's a suggestion. That's it. Right? Amazing quality, amazing price. You should give it a try. I really like the propolis toothpaste I used, because the green tea helped with the morning breath, and the propolis helped with the bleeding gums. It was great. Me explaining the toothpaste just now, that was 15 seconds. That was a 15 to 10-second explanation of the toothpaste, not a 1 hour demonstration and 1 hour explanation of why they must buy the toothpaste. Right? And then what? And then they'll say after they use a toothpaste, hey, I want to learn about the business. Right? I want to learn about the business. What do you say? You say, I don't know. Let's go attend a Zoom and let's listen. Don't try to explain everything on your own, because you know what will happen? After you explain it, they won't come to the Zoom. They'll say, but you already explained it to me. Why do I need to go to the Zoom? Right? Didn't you already explain it to me? They're going to say the same thing again. But you explaining it to them is probably going to be not as good as your sponsor explaining it to them. So don't explain it to them. Just say, I don't really know, but let's attend this Zoom. Or what do? You say, hey, let's set up a time. I'll come over. And then you play them a video on Channel Atomy. Okay. So you need to be watching all the videos on Channel Atomy. Why? Because there's so many varieties that once you understand all the videos, you'll know which video to watch with who. Not all the videos are the same. Some videos may be good for this person who's a stay-at-home mom. Some video may be good for this doctor who's always working. So every video is different. Even though the content seems to be the same, but they're different. It's like saying the same. It's like saying all cars are the same. They have an engine and wheels. Is that true? That's not true, right? But if you say all cars are the same, theoretically it is true, right? They all have an engine and wheels. But is a Lamborghini the same as a Kia? I'm not saying Kias are bad, right? Well, they both have an engine and they both have wheels. So it's the same thing. No, that's not the same thing, okay? So even in the way that you present, even in the material given, yeah, the basic guidelines are the same, but each person, they're going to have a different feel and a different taste to how they present. So watch the videos for you. If you don't watch the videos, you don't even know what to play for them. Right? So you must watch the videos. So these are the things that will help propel your business forward. Product, amazing quality, amazing prices. You should give it a try. Second one, can you explain the business to me? Oh, I don't know. I can't explain it that well. So let's go listen. Okay. Let's go give it a listen. That's what you say. It's very simple. Okay. So these basic fundamental ideas are the backbone of the business. Okay. For me, I think one of the most success stories in Atomy, like I said, is Jason, right? Grandmaster, really, I think he's laughing, drinking his Hemohim, but that's why he's a Crown Club, because he drinks so much Hemohim. But but the business is all about consistency and diligence, right? It's not about your ability to present. It's not about your ability to sell. It's not about your ability if you speak English well, or if you don't speak English well, or if you have all those things don't matter. But it only matters if you let it matter. If you let it bother you, you fail. Don't let it bother you. If you don't have any network, I see a puppy right there, right? I see Lynn's puppy. So let's say Lynn doesn't have any friends. Okay, let's say Lynn has no friends, but she wants to start the business. Okay, let's say every day Lynn goes and walks her dog. Okay, but every day when she goes and walks her dog, there's another person who walks their dog with Lynn. She doesn't know that person's name, but let's say that they have a Chihuahua. Okay, so what do? You write their name on your prospect list. What's their name? You don't know their name. The Chihuahua owner. That's it. You don't need to know their name. And then you approach them. You have small conversation with them, and then you explain it to them. That's it. Okay? And this is the way you continue to grow your business. It's not about, do I have a network? It's about, how am I going to build and make my network? What are the steps that I'm going to take to be able to grow my network? Right? That's about discipline. It doesn't take any skill. Okay? So let's continue to do these things as you grow your business. And as you do these things, you'll be able to see the future distribution model. Okay? So I'm going to end there, and then now I'm going to share the future distribution of Atomy, right? So think about the future distribution model, why it works. So I explained to you it's free. All businesses are free nowadays. Okay, next. Atomy is different because everybody lacks the ability, right? Lacks the ability to make content, but they do what? They want to be able to become successful. So I told you in the beginning about the stock market, right? About how the stock market's going crazy. Everybody saw the news about GM, right? GameStop, right? GME. Everybody knows about GameStop, about the short squeeze, about AMC, about Wall Street bets. If you're in the US and you turn on the news, you should know, okay? So what's happening? What happened? Free money was given, right? Stimulus money. That money was reinvested, and then that money squeezed the stock. So what happened? Free money made money, right? And of course, a lot of people lost money as well, okay? But in Atomy, what am I saying? It's free to start. There's no money needed, right? And you can do the same thing, like I said, with the stimulus money, right? The stimulus money is to help support you with everyday necessities, right? So you need to brush your teeth. You're going to get a stimulus check again, right? So use that money to buy Atomy products. It's free, literally free. The government's paying for Atomy right now. What better time to do Atomy than now? The government's paying for your business. Use that money if you can to buy your everyday necessities and help other people do the same and bring them into this ecosystem. Because Amazon, we all know, right? Amazon has affiliated links. Amazon sells everything, but it's the same thing. Atomy is the same thing as Amazon, because with the AllAboutAtomy's, right? Everybody knows the AllAboutAtomy's. I'm sure you've seen the different products on the AllAboutAtomy's. As each country grows to more than 3.5 million, 4 million members, and they have the infrastructure in place, then more products will show up in each country as well. Okay. So if you want the AllAboutAtomy's in the US, it's your responsibility to grow your network big enough so Atomy USA can support the Atomy AllAboutAtomy's in US, right? If you want it bad enough, you'll make it. It's the same thing. We're working together to grow. So I want to end my lecture here. That's the future distribution model that you need to think about. And I want to thank you all for your time. I hope that this was a little bit helpful in reorganizing your mindset in building the business, okay? So thank you all. Remember to follow me at Coach Chu on Instagram and YouTube. Okay, Jason, this is you have to tell them, okay? All right. Thank you so much. Are we gonna have Q&A time? Short Q&A time, Jason, or what should we do?
Yeah. First of all, let's give them a big round of applause for giving us a wonderful speech tonight and in the morning, sitting home. his new home. And of course, we're gonna follow him at Coach Ju, his Instagram, his YouTube. We're gonna follow you. We love you. Basically, we love you. So we're gonna be going everywhere you go. Okay, and of course, today after this session, I like to ask Mr. Ju Young Park to stay a little more time with us while we're sharing our speech with you. Okay, we could ask you some questions, but mostly we're gonna be sharing our commitment today after we're listening to you. I like to share, if you like to share what you learn and what is your commitment after you listen to our Juyong Park Star Master today. So if you have any comment that you want to make, just think it as like a book club, okay? Whatever you read, if you share, some people might be catching even deeper, and you might be catching even deeper of the lesson today. So if you want to make a comment, just like we have a Sandy Yu raise her hand, you could raise your hand, okay? If you don't know how to raise your hand, you could just raise your hand like this and then hoping that I could find you, okay? We have 5 pages of 50 people, so that means we have 250 people turning on their camera, which is amazing. Thank you so much. I can tell Juyong Park, you're very popular over here. Okay, so let's start with Sandy. Sandy, you could 1 second before before we started. Um, please, if you don't have to say anything, please stay muted. But if you have to say something, you could unmute. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. Well, hello, Coach Ju. My name is Sandy, and I am, first of all, so thankful that you are representing younger generation. So honestly, I saw you a long time ago, and I think you were one of the young generation that I was like inspired by. And so I was like, okay, this is not just for old people, this can happen for younger people. So I was so thankful for that. And I know younger people are rising up as well. And that's my goal too, to bring younger generation for them to thrive and rise through Atomy. Definitely your lecture was very helpful. You made such great points, especially in the beginning too, regarding the social media way of comparing with Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that. Um, and definitely I am right now, going for auto sales master for the first time. And so I made it for the first month. I mean, yeah, the first month. So I'm going for the second one right now. So definitely what you shared, it started hitting me. And before I did the auto sales master challenge, it's harder to understand. But then now it's like, because I'm in it, it's like, being soaked in. Yeah, so much better. So I just really want to thank you for that. And that, yes, I am following you for Coach Ju as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Sandy, thanks for making comment. I thought I was representing the young people, but you say Juyong Park is. Okay, did you know he's in his 20s, right? Juyong, you're in 20s, right?
No, I'm an old man now. I started in my 20s anatomy, but now I'm in my 30s. Just
Yeah.
like you. I'm same age as Jason, 30s.
Okay, very funny. All right. Thank you, Sandy, for sharing. Okay, next, let's go to the next person. I think Jess, I'm sorry. You could go ahead.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, Coach Ju. Thank you so much for sharing. It was very informative, and I learned a lot from you today. Actually, I'm always watch your video on YouTube, but what I learned for today is that to be consistent and be disciplined in order to succeed in this world, and not to give up, to try until you succeed. So thank you so much for teaching us.
Thank you, Jess.
Okay, thank you, Jess. I hope you learned a lot. Okay, let's go to next person. Sharon Rose Master K. Kote. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, thank you so much. It's wonderful time to running together globally. I'm really happy to hear from the Ju Young Bak Star Master from Korea. Even though I listening his BOD from the YouTube, it's so nice to hear from him again. And it's true what he mentioned about the consistency and working together and diligent, everything, even though same thing we are over and over, we emphasize it, that's our job. So every time I hear the even same story, every time I get the energy and have idea and running more. So thank you so much, Ju Young Bak Star Master. I really enjoyed for your lecture today. Thank you.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you.
Keiko Te. I know you guys learned a lot today, and I know you are appreciating to our guest speaker today. But I want you to point out what you learned today. Okay, I know you are appreciating. I know you learned a lot. I want you to point out. Okay, let's go to the next person. Who's the next person? I think Amy. You're the next. Let's go, Amy.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to say thanks a lot for tonight. I do learn a lot and I really appreciate it, Coach Joe. And
Yeah,
I just had to I just had to come out and tell you that you are my #1 and you two talking about anime. That is how I build my team when you talk about the Baking Auto sales in there. And that's how my sister Ma also built her team. So both of us are big fans of you, but I have one question asking you. So my questions is, since I follow you, you are the first person that I see that's so young, be successful in anime. What did you do to convince other people, especially the older folks, about network marketing, or the young one about network marketing? Because I'm assuming that you should have both.
All right. Thank you, Amy. Good question. So what did I do in terms of how did I grow my network, right? From the young and old, so on. My network is not that young.
That's even better then. I want to know how you do it for the older folk now.
Yeah, it's not age based. I think it's just opportunity based, right? So the more people that you have around you is the more people that will be attracted, right? So for me in the beginning, I was more surrounded by older individuals, like who are in their 50s, 40s, okay? And then from there, I was able to contact their children and friends. But there's nothing new in terms of how you present. It's just about what they want to hear. For example, the 20-year-olds in Korea, they go to the university, they have university debt, and they make probably about $2,000 to $1,500 a month. So I talk to them about being able to create passive income here. And then for maybe the 30-year-olds, stay-at-home wives who don't work, but they want to make maybe an extra $500 a month for their children's academy fees or things like that, right? Hagwon. I tell them about the flexibility of Atomy and being able to change, because they're the ones in control of buying products at home, right? The stay-at-home moms. So just changing their products over to make money, $300 to $500 a month like that. And then for people who are maybe in their 50s who've just retired, they have a lot of free time. So for them, I attract them by culture, just to come over and to, eat food and to hang out. So each person, age group is different in terms of what we can do and how we can share with them. So those are the 3 different key aspects that I use with those different age groups, right? Because if we talk about just like culture and eating with 20-year-olds, they're not going to be as excited, right? So just think about those things, and that's how I did it. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering. Okay, I want you to raise your hand if you want to say something, okay? Just like Sunny Son did it. Let's go, Sunny.
Yes. Hi. Thank you very much for sparing your time to provide us a very nice lecture tonight. And I'm a sales master. I have only been doing this for about a year and a half. And I had two questions. First question was asked by Amy, previous lady, and how you did it, and who you did it, age bracket wise. And second was that since you mentioned that you were born and raised in California, and when you went out to Korea, you didn't know anybody, virtually nobody, other than probably your in-laws. And yet, how did you set up your initial network? And as you mentioned that this is a group game. You have to form a group of people that you have to run together with. And yet, about when you were able to form your group that pushed you up to the Star Master, which is now. So
Okay.
that's my question.
All right, very good. So let me answer your question. Let me try not to take too much time. The first part, when I started the business, I literally didn't know anything about the business either. Okay. I didn't know there were education centers. I didn't know there were success academies. All I did was watch CEO Park's video online. And then I learned about binary on YouTube because there's no English content or anything at the time, right? When I first started. I think I had one of the first compensation plan videos out, but I didn't know anything. So all I knew was product was good. I can make money by selling products and creating a network. Okay. That's all I knew. So I had no friends. So I had to contact all my wife's friends. So that's why if you hear my story, I would force her to make appointments with all her friends, and then I would tag along and explain anatomy to them, right? So she was not very happy in the beginning, right? So I had no friends in Korea. So I met all of my wife's friends, okay? And then what I also did was I taught English in Korea to only adults. So business people and stay-at-home moms, I would teach small group at my house, okay? And then I targeted all my lectures for making money. So all the English content that I made was about the economy, about making money. And then I talked to them about atomy. And then that's when it started to grow fast. So when I started to talk to my wife's friends, it didn't grow much because they weren't the ones who were in control of buying products. So in Korea, even if you're 20 something, 30 something, and if you're living with your parents still buy everything in Korea, right? You don't buy anything. Your parents buy everything. So I didn't know that. So all her friends, everyone, all the skincare, all the shampoo, everything, their parents bought it and they have nothing to buy. So I said to them, okay, let me meet your parents then, right? So I started to meet the parents who were in charge of the purchases, okay? And as I did that, it took about 9 months. So for about 9 months, I had no consistent income. So the first month I made 1 commission. Second month I made 1 commission. Third month I made no commission. And then the fourth month I made another commission. And then after I started meeting the housewives, right, the ones in control of everyday purchases, I started to make about 4 commission a month and then 2 a week. And then in 9 months' time, I became an auto sales master because of not targeting business partners, but simply targeting true consumers, right? And then that's how I grew my business. Literally, no network. I had my friends, my wife's friends register, but they were no help because they didn't buy anything. And then I grew the business with my personal people that I was tutoring. So they then networked their network. And then we started to have home meetings and home parties with like 50 to 70 people in the house. So that's how it happened.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, Ju, for sharing your experience also. Getting the referrals, by the referrals, and then finally you were able to meet the housewives who are actually in charge of buying everything for their house, right?
Mhm.
I think I remember I was too looking for housewives because usually I was meeting the store owners, and usually they don't want to buy anything. Anyway, let's go to the next person. Who wants to make a comment today or ask any question? Raise your hand. Okay, we don't have a whole lot of night, so let's pick. Anyone? No? Just open your mic and say something. You don't have to raise your hand.
Hi, it's hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
I can
yes.
hear you.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Joe. It's a wonderful, informative presentation. I'm Subhan from New York, and I represent Bangladesh. Just I want to know, I got a little bit late in the meeting. So, how long you are, in the Atomy, and are you located in Korea or you are in the United States?
What is your question? Where am I located?
Yeah, I say you are
how long
in Korea or you are in USA.
I'm in Korea.
Okay, so how long you are in the business with the Atomy? How long?
About 7 years.
7 years. So you are sales master, right?
Sales
Star
master. No, I'm a star master.
Master, sorry. That's why I said I got little late, so I don't know this.
I think it's best for you to rewatch the videos so we can save time for other people who weren't late to the meeting. So if you have any other questions, let me know. And then the
Okay.
other ones you should be able to find all online as well.
Okay, thank you very much. It's no other
Okay.
question. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you from Bangladesh. Okay, I think we have another person. Okay, Ravindra. Are you from
Ravindra
India?
from, yes, I'm from India. I'm from
Wow.
India.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Joe. This is really a wonderful thing in the morning. I just texted to my upline and she forwarded me the link and I jumped there because I love Joe, Coach Joe. Since India was not started in India, but I was following you. And the punchlines you have said, Joe, like uh, homemakers, women, we have to make a rapport with them and just present the products to them, not to talk. Secondly, you said that you just tell that I don't know Atomy, come to the Zoom. These are and make the list. We did not to write the name. You can write the man with the dog, and that is how it's a wonderful thing, Joe. Really, it is a beautiful thing to grow the business. Even language is no barrier. We just present the product and product will talk. That is how it is. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's very, very easy to build the business, right? You just have to continue to add to your list with whoever you see pass by and just share Atomy in 30 seconds, right? And then
Yes,
try to make sure that you can meet them again. Very simple.
yes. That's
Right.
simple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we have eagerly a young person. Moen, you can go ahead.
Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Mo. I'm from Canada. So yeah, I literally watched I can see all of the video that you have in YouTube, and that's all amazing. So I became part of the team like 5 months ago, and finally I become sales master last month. So
Wow.
yeah, so I work hard, like have to watch the video like every day. So it's amazing, yeah. So I have two questions here for you, Coach. The first question for you is, what is the biggest factor that can help, or what is the biggest factor that has helped you to become more successful to the business?
The biggest what?
What is the biggest factors that help you to become successful
Okay.
in a business?
Biggest factor.
And
Okay.
the second one is, if you go back or start over again from the beginning, what did you do differently and why?
All right. What would I do differently? Okay. So first one is biggest factors that helped. Um, I think Atomy, there's everybody's different, everybody has different past experiences, everybody, so the biggest thing that helped me was just my faith in Atomy, right? That I knew that it would work or else because everybody else told me that I wouldn't be successful because they didn't know Atomy, right? So I think biggest factors that will help everybody is your deep understanding of Atomy, not what your sponsor told you, not what somebody else told you, but your research in Atomy. That is what will help you stay rooted, right? Because without that information, you're going to be shaken. So that's the biggest factor that helps. What would I do differently? I would try to learn a different language. I wish I could speak 5 languages. No, yeah. I wish I would have started learning the more languages because Atomy was such a global, business. I wish I would have learned starting from 7 years ago, at least Mandarin or Spanish. Jeez, then I would be able to communicate with my partners more. But no, yeah. So what would I do differently? I think I'll probably try my best to expand my understanding of everybody, So in the beginning, maybe I was not as able to do that. So I think that's what I want everybody to understand, to be able to become a rainbow is what we say, right? So why do we say become a rainbow? Because we want you to be a chameleon and adapt to every single color that comes your way, right? If you're the color red and you only attract the color red, then your team's not going to be very diverse, right? So you want to try to attract everybody is what I want to say. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was a good question, I think. All right, and a good answer for that. And biggest factor, I love it. Deep understanding of Atomy. Once you understand about Atomy, everything will be automatic after that. Okay. Okay. Next person will be Israel Kim. Go ahead.
Hello, Coach Jiu. How are you doing? Thanks so much
Hello.
for your time. Like Cindy, you said that so you were inspirational for all of the young people, and yeah, so we really appreciate you paving the way for us. So my first question is, so I have partners joining Atomy and asking, so they get very ambitious and then they start going off on Facebook and start sharing everything. And I always tell them 8 steps to success. So how valuable was 8 steps to success for you to coach your partners to follow? And how beneficial were they?
Okay, good. So the 8 steps to success is very basic, right? It's the first thing is for you. So first 2 goals are for you, nobody else, right? You set up your dreams and your goals. That means desire. Make sure you have a desire inside of you to propel yourself forward, even though maybe you don't feel like doing things, right? So the second one is committing to those desires, right? So after getting past 1 and 2, the rest, it doesn't really matter, right? Because what I mean by that is you will do the rest if you really desire success, right? If you really desire to be able to do these things. So I think that the 8 steps to success are important, of course, but I also think that the first 2 steps are the most important. And then I always share step 0, right? Do you guys know step 0? Right? Before starting step 1, you need to do step 0, which is be a good human being, right? Be a good person. So as you can do that, the other ones, it doesn't have to be in that order, but of course, after you commit to that, you need to make a list because you want to talk to people, right? And then you want to share with them, okay? And then you want to encourage them in terms of step 1, 2, 3 process, right? Maybe step 1 is simple information. Step 2 is information with your sponsor. Step 3, so on, building up to the Success Academy and watching online, But when, the COVID situation is all gone and done, yeah, it would be great to be able to invite everybody physically to be in the same room and the same environment and to be able to have that culture of wanting to be there. So that's the last thing that I want to leave it with is culture. For you, since you're young, all of us who are in our age, we want to create a culture where we want to meet up, right? We want to be able to see each other. And so in order to do that, you have to be able to create that fun, exciting, and valuable time. And if you know that you can't, nobody else can do that for you, then you have to be in charge of making that, right? So if, for example, you're the youngest in your group, or your upline's not as young, and your upline maybe speaks another language or whatever it may be, then it's your 100% your responsibility to start creating that culture where you can draw people in and to build that culture within there, right? So that's what I want to encourage you to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. I also wanted to ask, how's your Dreamy Center going? Because I know you're very involved with that. So I was pretty curious with that.
It's going well. I actually moved so I can do more stuff with Dreamy, and I can make some more video and content. So I moved to Sejong시, which is like 20 minutes from Gongju, right? So yeah, it's going very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very good question and good answer as always. And then the next person, before I go to the next person, people are recommending Juyong Park you learn Portuguese or Spanish. Okay, it's never too late. They are recommending. And then let's go to Paul. Dalisay. You can go ahead, Paul. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yes, thanks, Jason. Coach Drew, I don't know if you know this. If you go to YouTube and you type in Atomy, 3 videos are from you. 3 out of 10. So when I started Atomy, it was Jason's video, is your video. It was Dinali's video that I follow. And so thank you for the energy. Thank you for being young, representing the other generation. But I have 2 questions. I have 1 question. So if you're with talking to your team or to every team, what are your strengths that you can share, and what are your weaknesses that you can tell them to avoid?
There's no secret. There's no special sauce. There's no special method. All it is meet as many people as you can, share with them the basics of Atomy, and make sure everybody gets along. That's it. That is all of Atomy, right? The weak points is getting along. That's what people lack the ability of doing, getting along. So that's why I said from 8 steps to success, number 0 is be a good human being, right? So after you do those things, there's nothing special, nothing different, and no special method of doing anything. It's just amazing prices, right? I mean, amazing quality, amazing prices. Give it a try. Let's take a listen. And each person's circumstance is different, right? Some people want to do it. Some people don't want to do it. Some people want to do it today. Some people don't want to do it until next year. So it's all about following up. So that's it. I wish there was something special and different. Or else I'd be using that method.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree with Juyong Park. People ask me the know-hows, a lot of how questions. How do I do this? How do I say? How do I approach? A lot of how questions, but there's no answer for those how questions. I think you just repeat something that you have to do in Atomy, which is very simple actually. A step to success, a checklist, a checklist. Those are things and doing those things, you don't have to be a special person. Okay, let's go to the next person. Jennifer just raised her hand.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Juyong Park. The best thing that I learned today, then other than other people already said, is God gave us emotions to control, not emotions to control us. And I think it's very important point that we all need to learn and practice in Atomy business. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's easier said than done, right? Very easy to say, but very hard to do.
Right.
But that's something that I believe that we should all strive to try to do, because that means that you'll make money faster, right? You'll be able to have more people. So don't allow your personal emotions to, harm your business and other people around you. So thank you.
Yeah, actually, I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning of atomy business of mine. I got angry so many times, and then I screw up so many times. So if you make mistakes, you will learn. You will learn, of course. And then we have another person. I think this is my our last person should be okay. Okay, we could have two person. Okay, the first person would be Kathy Porter, and then we could go Gerald. Kathy, you go ahead.
Thank you, Jason. Jill, how much time did you spend on personal development, and what 3 books would you recommend to all of us to work on personal development?
I don't know how, thank you for the question. Very good question. I think the only book that needs to really be read is, How to Make Friends and Influence People, because just even in the first chapter, it talks about each person's perspective and how even, Dale Carnegie, and how he talks about how even a person in prison who's murdered, who's done crime still believes that what they did was right. So the power of what a person is going to believe and the inability to change their mind is great, right? So you can never persuade somebody is the point, right? It's impossible to persuade somebody to be on your side. The more you persuade, the harder they'll push and say no, right? So it's very difficult to change somebody else, but it's much easier, right, to change yourself to be able to then help them become, more oriented to listen to what you have to say. But for me, personal development is huge. All my lectures are pretty much entangled with personal development. Hence, step 0, become a good person, and for me, that was, I was blessed to be able to have lots of hardship in my life, right? Because through those difficulties and hardship, growing up with a single mom, growing up poor, at the same time, growing up as a PK, I was a pastor's kid, and, being, there's so many things, and then moving to 10 different schools before graduating high school, being forced to, change my personality to make new friends. Those all helped me become who I am today, and I think that's what I want to encourage everybody here today. I love what you asked, Kathy, because I believe that we have the power and ability to allow our past to make us a better person for the future, or we can allow our past to chain us down and become bitter, forever. And I want to encourage everybody today in this room, let your past abilities build you up towards the person that you want to become. And
no, it's our atomy.
And in that, I think it will be very powerful if you can apply that to your partners and help them grow as well. So yes, so that book and the ability to understand how to, not persuade people, but to thank people and to uplift people will get you much, much further than to try to debate people. If you debate people, why Atomy is the best and why your network marketing is not better and why you need to use it, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So don't do that.
Wow, that's such an amazing answer and good question. Actually, before we go ahead, before we proceed, I just read the amazing article the other day, and it says, let's not waste our crisis. Crisis is the fuel to make us better. Without the crisis, you won't change yourself and you won't grow. So crisis is the fuel, but we have a biggest fuel because of the pandemic. So let's not waste our crisis and develop us through the atomy. Okay, let's go ahead with Gerald. You could go ahead, Gerald.
Hi, good evening, Coach Joe. Good evening, everyone, and good morning to the Philippines. I'm originally from the Philippines, Coach. By the way, I belong to the Atomy Atlanta Center. You made mention in your lecture now that consistency and being diligent are factors to be successful in this business. I'd like to ask your thoughts about having focus, because I would like to know your thoughts about this, how to handle with some of our team members, not only in our team, but maybe in some other teams, about, justifying of doing some other businesses in order for them to earn. And I understand that because of economic situation, maybe. And I always encounter this saying from other team members that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I believe that I cannot be successful in Atomy if I will not be focal point focused to my Atomy business. But I need your thoughts, Coach, about that. Thank you.
Are you talking about other businesses like other MLMs?
Yeah, I'm referring, aside from MLM, like for example, other industries, not an active income, but a part-time income. Let me put it this way: being involved in other part-time, earnings, so that for them
Can you be more specific? Like
for
part-time
example,
income is like, give me
like
the
for example, I'll talk about myself, Coach. I'd like to be very honest. Okay, I am in Atomy, and then I am a licensed financial advisor in the insurance, and then sometimes I'm still attracted to other, network marketing. So that's my question. If I don't have the focus, do you think I can be successful in Atomy?
Okay, very good question. So let me try to answer that question to the best of my ability. What is your desired outcome is question number one you have to ask yourself, right? The only reason I'm doing Atomy is because of the passive income. Okay, so there's no point to say anything else. I did Atomy to make money. That's it. Okay, if anybody else is doing Atomy for any other reasons, that's great. But for me, I did Atomy to make money. Okay, and I am making money. Okay? Now I'm making money called passive income. So literally, I don't have to do this lecture, right? I don't have to do any lecture, and I'll continue to make money because I have downline all over the world. And my leaders will continue to do the business because they're not making money for me, they're making money for them, right? My leaders in other countries are not building the business for me so that I can get income. They're building the business for them, okay? So Atomy is a system. I have built a system, okay? And in this system, I see longevity, okay? Now, until I get to that part, it's very difficult. So if I did not have partners all over the world, if I did not make the income that I'm making right now, then of course it'll be more difficult to say what I'm saying because you're not making income, right? So you'll be attracted to do different businesses, right? So making money every single month is a necessity, right? If Atomy is not making you the needed income and you're continuing to fall in debt, then that is the wrong choice. You must be able to sustain yourself, right? So let's say that Atomy is only bringing you $1,000 a month, but you need $3,000. Well, you need to find $2,000 from somewhere. You're not going to be able to find that from Atomy by simply doing more Atomy every single day until what? Until you have partners. And once you have partners, it's a different game. For example, let's say my partner, okay, she was working at a grocery store making $1,500 a month. She did Atomy for 6 months and started making $300 a month. I told her to quit her grocery job, right? And to do Atomy full time because her $300 a month from Atomy would 100% become greater than $1,500 a month that she was making from her grocery job that she had for the past 5 years. Okay. Does that make sense? Yes. That makes sense. But if you're making $30,000 a month as a financial advisor and you're making $1,000 a month in Atomy, and then I tell you to quit your financial advising job, that is the wrong choice. There has to be a difference of, you have to understand the difference, okay? So that being said, you cannot say yes and no to your answer. Each person has a different desired outcome. Each person has a different economic background. Each person is different, Okay. One person can make $30,000 a month, but doesn't need to make $30,000 a month. They're already retired. They're already done, right? They want to quit their $30,000 a job and rather do Atomy for $2,000 a month because they have less stress in Atomy. So you cannot allow number figures to determine the outcome of your decision, but rather your situation and your circumstance that determines what it will be. Okay. So it's not a yes, it's not a no. It's what is that person's current situation and how does it need to be done? Now, what needs to be the same for everybody is what? Every day you need to make new partners. Every day you need to follow up. Every day you need to build your Atomy business. That never changes. That is always the same. So even if you're doing, for example, before doing Atomy full-time, I was a university professor here in Korea, right? I got blessed with a assistant professorship job and I worked full-time, right? But my full-time university job was not demanding. I only worked 6 hours a week and I only worked 2 times a week and I was a full-time professor. Like, you know, and I made my salary. I was full paid vacation, only worked 6 hours to 9 hours a week, 2 times in the office. And I made more money than a lot of other people make working 40 hours, right? Do I need to quit that job to do Atomy full time? No, I did not quit that job. I maintained that job for 3 years because, you know, there's no reason for me to quit. Only when I only quit that job when my income in Atomy was more than $15,000 a month. Not because the income difference, but because I no longer had time to go 2 days to teach. And I no longer had time to give my students the quality that I wanted to give them because I had to grade papers, create content, and I wanted to focus that energy on my Atomy university students, right? Because it's the same thing. I was teaching at a university, but now I'm teaching at Atomy. So I just switched it over. So you cannot always think about it in monetary terms, and you cannot always think about it in absolute right now terms, right? But your day now, for example, you not meeting one person today can bring down your business, you know, slow down your business for the next 5 years because that one person that you didn't want to meet or that you had an emotional fight with would have been somebody who would become your star master. So think about those things and every day do everything that you need to do to build your business. It's not, is it full-time? Is it part-time? It's about, am I doing Atomy to the best of my ability? If you're not, then you're not doing Atomy. You're not doing anything. If like, even if, I don't know, you see the people that I respect the most are like bodybuilders, right? And people who are in fitness. Those people are committed, right? Guys cannot increase their body fat percentage by like 5%. And they are just every day working out, drinking water, taking protein, sleeping, like, you know, not eating things that are unhealthy. Like that is discipline. But why do you not do Atomy like that? Like what makes Atomy different then? If you think it's different, then it's not an issue of should I do a full-time, part-time, should I quit this and do that? It's about your lack of focus. You are not focusing how you should in Atomy. Tomorrow, you should already know what you're going to do tomorrow for Atomy before you sleep today. You shouldn't wake up tomorrow to decide what you're going to do tomorrow. You are already wrong then. You should already know what you're going to do tomorrow, and you should already have a week planned out for today, and those plans should determine your outcome. That's it. If you knew about this meeting and you knew that you had to invite people, then you shouldn't have forgotten only 2 days ago because Jason told me about this meeting months ago. And you guys should have known to invite people to grow and to do. If you didn't, then you're not doing it, right? So I hope that answers your question. It was long, but it had to be a long answer.
Thank you very much, Coach Joe. I love it. I really,
Actually,
those are the informations that I really want to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, actually, you know, this is I think that was the highlight of today's lecture. That's why I love Ju-Young Park. I love his wisdom, even though he's such a young, but his hardship in his life made him so wise. So that we love him. Unfortunately, I think we have to come to an end for today. Let's go to sharing screen announcement. Thank God. Before we go ahead one more time, let's give him a big round of applause to our Star Master Ju-Young Park for his wonderful wisdom. Thank you very much, Ju-Young Park, one more time. And March 16, we have a Espanol reunion de Zoom Espanol. Joel Contreras, Sharon Master from Mexico, and he'll be speaking for our group 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So mark your calendar. And March 18, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Terry Chu, Royal Master from Taiwan. He's a Crown Leaders Club member, and he's a sponsor of many leaders in Taiwan, Malaysia. So many people are recommending her to our Zoom meeting, and she said okay. So we're gonna be having a very good time also with the Chinese-speaking people. So mark your calendar if you have any Chinese-speaking people. And then that's it for our March for AllAboutAtomy's Zoom meeting. And next month we have actually Jin E. Starmaster, who's a member of Leaders Club, is in this room with us today, and she'll be giving us a speech for us. Thank you, Ginny, Star Master. That'll be April Fool Day, okay? Don't misunderstanding. We are doing it. We're not fooling, okay? Ginny Star Master will be giving us a speech on 8 p.m. Eastern Time, April 1st. And then we have April 8th, 8 p.m. Chinese Zoom meeting. And then April 13th, Tuesday, we have this is a Korean Zoom meeting with our Crown Master, Ju Jin-wan. Actually, he's my one of favorite speaker in Korea. And then April 20th, we're gonna be having a Spanish Zoom meeting. Okay, so mark your calendar and start inviting your partners to enjoy and make your group grow. Okay, let's finish our Zoom meeting by reciting our company motto, okay? So let's open your mic. Are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ju-Young Park.
Thank you so much.
You got so much insight.
A wonderful lecture.
God bless you, Coach.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
수고하셨습니다.
Thank you, Coach Ju. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was inspired by yours.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
바로 나가려고.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Four,
Thank you very much.
2.